I've always hated busy gyms. The waiting for equipment, the noise, the feeling of being watched every time you pick up a weight. So when I found out my local gym was open 24 hours, I rearranged my entire schedule around it. I started showing up at 1:30 in the morning, sometimes closer to 2. A handful of people, plenty of space, no distractions. It became my routine, and for months, it worked perfectly. I knew the late-night crowd by then. A nurse who came in after her shift. A guy who worked at the airport. A few others I'd never spoken to but recognized by their schedules. There was a quiet understanding between all of us. We were all there for the same reason, to be left alone. So when I walked in that particular night and immediately felt something was different, I noticed right away. The front desk was empty. That alone wasn't unusual. The overnight attendant sometimes stepped away, but the security gate was only half closed, sitting at an awkward angle like it had stopped mid-motion. The lights above the check-in area buzzed faintly. The whole entrance felt like something had been interrupted. I stood there for a moment, looking around. No one. I signed myself in on the tablet, pushed through the gate, and told myself I was overthinking it. I went to my usual section, loaded up the bar, put my headphones in, and started lifting. About 20 minutes in, I pulled one earbud out to catch my breath. That's when I heard it. Metal on metal. The sharp, heavy clank of weight plates knocking together. Coming from the far corner of the gym, the section behind the cable machines, partially blocked from view by a row of tall equipment racks. I looked over, couldn't see anyone from where I was standing. I figured it was someone I hadn't noticed coming in. Someone tucked back in that corner doing their thing. I put my earbud back in and kept going. A few sets later, something made me look up at the mirror in front of me. There was someone standing behind me. Not moving, not reaching for equipment, just standing there, facing my direction, completely still. The reflection was clear enough, a figure, standing maybe 10 feet back, just watching. I spun around fast. Nobody there. I took my headphones off completely. The gym was silent except for the hum of the ventilation system and that faint buzzing from the lights near the entrance. I walked the full length of the floor slowly, checking every aisle between equipment rows. Nothing. No one. I was alone. I told myself the mirror had played a trick. Angles, lighting, my own tired eyes. I grabbed my water bottle and decided to use the locker room before finishing up. The locker room was dim. Half the lights were on their motion sensor delay, flickering to life as I walked in. I went to the sink, splashed water on my face, and looked up into the mirror above it. Behind me, a locker door was closing. Slowly. Not swinging, closing, like someone had just released it gently and it was finding its way shut. I watched it in the mirror until it clicked. I turned around. The row of lockers was still. Every door closed. I left the locker room faster than I went in. Back on the floor, my phone buzzed. I picked it up expecting a text, but it was a notification from the gym app. I opened it. Gym closing early tonight. Please make your way to the exit. I read it twice. I'd never received a message like that before. I locked my phone, gathered my bag, and started toward the front. The doors didn't move. I pushed, both hands flat against the glass. Pushed harder. Nothing. I looked through the glass into the empty parking lot, my car sitting alone under a light, and tried again. Locked. From the outside. My chest tightened. I turned back toward the desk, thinking there had to be a staff phone, an emergency release. Something. That's when the monitor near the entrance, the small screen that cycled through the security camera feeds, flickered. It went to static for half a second. Then it came back, showing the main floor feed. I stared at it. On the screen, in the far corner of the gym, the same corner where I'd heard those weight plates earlier. A figure was walking. Tall. Moving slowly between the equipment racks, head slightly down. I looked up from the screen toward that corner of the gym. Dark. Still. Nothing moving. I looked back at the monitor. The figure was still there on the screen. I don't remember deciding to start banging on the front doors. I just remember doing it, hard with both fists, until a security guard appeared from the parking lot with a key and a confused expression, explaining that there'd been a shift miscommunication and the door had been locked by mistake. He seemed unbothered. Apologetic, but unbothered. I didn't tell him what I'd seen on the monitor. I'm not sure why. Maybe I didn't think he'd believe me. Maybe I didn't fully believe it myself yet. The next morning I went back during daylight hours and spoke to the manager. I'm not sure what I was looking for. Reassurance, probably. Some boring explanation. Instead, she got quiet when I described the corner of the gym where I'd heard the weights. She told me that several months earlier, a member had collapsed during a late-night workout. Cardiac event. He'd been alone in that section for nearly an hour before anyone found him. He didn't make it. I haven't been back for a night session since. I go in the mornings now, with the crowds, with the noise, with all the things I used to hate. Turns out, there are worse things than a busy gym.